Most people understand that Georgetown home buyers are often from right up the road. But when you look at the most recent migration search data for Georgetown, you see a very specific pipeline feeding Georgetown and a clear list of where Georgetown buyers are trying to go once they get here. When you see those two patterns together, it explains why some of the pockets still feel competitive, even though their overall market seems slower. When you look at the most recent data, a definite pattern shows up. So in this video, I'm going to share with you one, where Georgetown buyers are coming from right now in the feeder metros driving real estate demand signals. 2, where Georgetown relocators are looking to land when they get here. And 3rd, what this means for you in 26 and how to adjust your strategy by pocket and price range. If you're new here, I'm Stuart Sutton. I help buyers and sellers right here in Georgetown, Texas, and have for over 3 decades. My job is to help you understand the trade-offs, the micro markets, and other details before you commit to an area in Georgetown. So let's start with where Georgetown buyers are coming from, because the #1 feeder market in Georgetown surprises a lot of people. Let's start with where Georgetown, Texas buyers are actually coming from, because this is where a lot of assumptions just fall apart. From a big picture context, most demand is still local and regional, but the inbound pipeline, it's not evenly spread. It clusters into a few feeder metros that show up quickly in the same neighborhoods and price ranges. In the most recent migration window, 71% of Georgetown, Texas homebuyers search to stay within the metro area, meaning they're coming from Austin and surrounding areas in central Texas. So that means that out-of-metro buyers are a smaller share, but they can still influence competition in the most desirable pockets when they're highly motivated and they don't have time. So let's talk about regional Texas moves, because this is the real engine. It includes Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, and actually other areas of Texas. Now, Texas is big, but buyers coming from other Texas metros have distinct advantages. They can visit easily, they can move fast once they pick the pocket they want. Most of these buyers are moving to Georgetown, Texas because of job changes, lifestyle upgrades in Texas. Yes, a lot of people consider Georgetown, Texas a lifestyle upgrade. And family ties, meaning kids and grandkids live in Georgetown or nearby areas like Round Rock, Cedar Park, Austin, and they want to be close, which Georgetown is. The other way happens too. Sometimes kids move to be closer to their parents or grandparents who live in Georgetown, Texas. Again, those coming from inside Texas can visit on weekends, tour efficiently, and make decisions fast once they find the right pocket and house. And they're already calibrated to Texas costs and norms, so they typically don't need a long adjustment period. Now, these regional buyers add steady pressure because they can show up quickly when a good, clean, well-priced home hits the market. These type of buyers often concentrate into the same lifestyle lanes as locals, which is why some areas feel competitive even when the broader market isn't. We talked about the smaller share, but it still has a big impact, and these are out-of-region areas: Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, New York, Chicago. Now, why are these folks moving to Georgetown, Texas? Remote work flexibility, family connections like we discussed earlier, and some are just value hunting compared to their home markets. And yeah, some are coming home to Texas. And these are the type of buyers who are planning ahead and tracking Georgetown, Texas for months before they ever tour in person. These buyers often narrow to a short list of neighborhoods first and then move decisively when a home that matches their lifestyle shows up on the market. So the whole list of top metros searching in Georgetown, Texas: Dallas was first, Los Angeles was second, Houston was third, Salt Lake City, San Francisco, Seattle, McAllen, Washington, D.C., New York, Chicago, and those are just the top 10. Buyers are coming to Georgetown from everywhere, but they're not all chasing the same thing. Now that you understand where buyers are coming from, the next question is, once they decide on Georgetown, Texas, where are Georgetown buyers trying to land? And what does that tell us about lifestyle pressure and affordability here? So once buyers decide they like Georgetown, the real decision usually isn't whether they want to move here, it's where do they want to move when they get to Georgetown. The big picture pattern is this: a lot of buyers start by saying they want Georgetown, but once they get deeper into the search, what they're really doing is comparing the different pockets inside Georgetown. You see, Georgetown doesn't behave like a single market, and a lot of buyers start to realize that when they're looking around. That's why some pockets can feel more competitive at certain times than others, even when the overall market does feel slower. And that's what we're seeing right now. Buyers aren't just choosing Georgetown, they're choosing a part of Georgetown. Sun City, for example, it's a lifestyle first lane. The buyers who fit this are active adults. They want a lifestyle-driven community, lots of amenities. It's one of the most recognizable community names in Georgetown and in Texas. Some of the other neighborhoods in Georgetown even list Sun City as one of the most popular nearby neighborhoods. That tells you how established it is in the local search pattern in Georgetown. So what does this mean for Georgetown? Well, it's not a generic suburban decision. This is the type of buyer that's choosing a defined lifestyle inside Georgetown. And there are other 55-plus communities. Sun City happens to be the most well-known, of course. Another is Wolf Ranch. It's a newer, amenity-driven lane. Who fits it? Well, buyers who want newer home appeal, master plan consistency. Wolf Ranch has extensive amenities, a formal HOA structure, community organization, and a newer planned community feel. And there are other master planned communities very similar to Wolf Ranch. Now, Berry Creek is an established country club suburban lane. Buyers who buy here want a more established Georgetown pocket with a country club feel, a strong legacy, suburban identity. Berry Creek has been part of Georgetown since the 80s and centers around a long established club with golf, tennis, pickleball, swimming, and a clubhouse with a restaurant. Now, Georgetown Village is a classic family suburban lane. Buyers who want this quintessential suburban setup with parks and sidewalks in a more traditional neighborhood feel. Georgetown Village is specifically described as having the convenience and comforts of a suburb with pocket parks, walkable school access, wide sidewalks, spacious homes. And then we've got something like Serenata, an older, space-driven lane. Buyers who want established pocket of homes, looking for a more spacious, a different feel than the newer planned communities. Serenata consistently shows up as one of the notable nearby neighborhoods because it's been here a long time. Serenata consists of homes on half-acre, acre, up to several acres. So it's more of a space feel and a neighborhood character decision. There's lots of remodeling going on and those homes sell very well. Now, I've just described several areas with very different amenities available to the homeowners. Some are very extensive, some not so much. But because of that, I created a spreadsheet that compares many Georgetown neighborhoods and the amenities that are offered. Where can you get pickleball? Which ones have walking trails, golf, which ones have fitness centers. It's not fancy, it's a spreadsheet, but it gives you the details about the amenities that a lot of people ask me about. I hope it's helpful. You can grab it, no hassle, no obligation. Now we're gonna look at Cimarron Hills. It's the premium Georgetown lane. Buyers looking for a high-end Georgetown suburban pocket with luxury-oriented identity, look at Cimarron Hills. Cimarron Hills has a Jack Nicklaus signature golf course and luxury homes. This buyer isn't just choosing Georgetown, they're choosing the premium version of a Georgetown lifestyle. So once you understand where buyers are coming from and which Georgetown pockets they're actually narrowing into, the next question is, what are they optimizing for in 26? Because that determines which homes get immediate action and which ones sit for a while. Now, once buyers decide they want Georgetown, Texas, the real decision isn't if they're going to move here, it's what they're optimizing for, because that's what determines which homes get immediate action and which ones tend to sit for a while. Freddie Mac showed the average 30-year fixed rate at about 5.98% as of February the 26th. Inventory and buyer leverage are more normal than in previous years, and Central Texas reporting shows that there are more active listings and higher months of inventory year over year, and that gives buyers more choices. But the best listings still move differently. Migration search data is a demand signal, not confirmed move, but it does explain why competition clusters into specific listings in certain pockets, even when the overall market feels calmer. I know I've said that more than once, but it's very true. Buyers are optimizing for a monthly payment that they can live with long-term, not just the purchase price. This matters in 2026 because when rates hover in the high fives, buyers are pickier. The same house that felt fine at a lower rate feels kind of expensive now. And it's true, different areas in Georgetown, Texas can have very different living costs day to day. Because of that, I created a spreadsheet that compares many Georgetown, Texas neighborhoods and the costs associated with living there. Feel free to grab one in the link below. It's not fancy, it's just a spreadsheet, but it provides a detail that a lot of people want about HOA fees, taxes, and even whether you can choose your own electric company. I hope you find it helpful. Buyers also want location certainty and pocket stability. And what does that mean? Well, they want the pocket of Georgetown, Texas that fits their day-to-day life. Not just the nice listing photos, in the prettiest videos, they want predictable resale demand. And that's even if they're not thinking about selling for a while. Even though the market is more balanced overall, demand still concentrates into pockets that feel the safest long term. And the best listings in those pockets still get the most action. And commute reality and daily rhythm still have an impact. Buyers care how their weekday life is actually going to feel, how the drive time friction affects the places they go every day and every week. Micro-location matters. It matters more than you think, because two homes with the same price can live very differently depending on where you are in Georgetown. So buyers choosing the lifestyle lane first and then fitting the house into it tend to feel a little better about their decision. And another one is a turnkey home versus a value home. Turnkey homes are better for buyers who have a lack of time and don't want projects. Value opportunities are when buyers want negotiating leverage and are willing to take on some cosmetic work. With buyers being more cautious and inventory being higher, those listings that have been overpriced or tired can sit longer. But a truly turnkey home still creates some urgency. Another thing buyers are looking for, newer layouts and neighborhood rules. A layout that works for how they live right now. And neighborhood consistency with clear eyes about HOA rules and how that neighborhood is managed. This matters because a lot of Georgetown buyers want the newer home rhythm. The difference between a great fit and regret is understanding the rules and the costs before you commit to that. The house can certainly be a perfect fit, but the rules and costs can make it the wrong move. You have to be aware of all the details. The happiest buyers long-term are not the ones who chase the biggest house, they're the ones who chase the right pocket for their real day-to-day life. Then they buy the best home they can inside that lane. And when you combine that with migration demand signals, you see why competition still can spike on specific listings in a balanced market. So now that you know what buyers are actually optimizing for in 26, let's talk about how this impacts you. Whether you're relocating to Georgetown, Texas, buying locally, or selling and trying to position your home correctly. So how does all this actually affect you? Whether you're relocating to Georgetown, Texas, you already live here and are thinking about your next move, or you're selling and trying to position your home correctly. The big picture reality is that this is a market where buyers have more options than last year, but not every pocket behaves the same way. Georgetown, like most of Central Texas, ended up with more active listings year over year and higher months of inventory year over year. The result is that some listings sit, but the best listings in the best locations still move in a reasonable time. The MLS shows that migration patterns help explain where competition is coming from and why it concentrates, especially when regional feeders and out-of-state buyers are targeting the same types of homes. And just a reminder, the migration numbers are based on search activity, not closed sale. So they are actually demand signals, but they're pretty strong demand signals. So if you're relocating to Georgetown, Texas, I'll share this with you. The biggest mistake I see is treating Georgetown like a single market and picking an area based on price or a few online photos. Most relocating buyers start way too broad, then get overwhelmed because pockets can live very differently, even if they're just a few miles apart. Understanding where buyers are coming from helps explain this. What does it explain? Well, why certain pockets feel more competitive, why some homes sell fast while others sit. So relocating buyers who choose lifestyle first tend to make a better long-term decision and avoid regret later. So if you're a local buyer, you're competing with buyers who have different starting points, those coming from within Texas or outside of Texas. And most of these buyers can tour fast and decide fast. Some are pressed for time, and those type of buyers can create a sudden competition for the right home. The good news, of course, the overall market, though it's still correcting, is more balanced than in previous years. And what that means simply this: negotiating opportunities on homes that are overpriced or sitting still exist. Housing data in Central Texas, in Georgetown specifically, show that average close to list price was lower than a year ago. And that's consistent with buyers having a little more leverage than a year ago. Now, local buyers win by being very targeted, knowing their lane, and being realistic about the trade-offs, not trying to chase every pocket at once. Now, on the other hand, if you're a seller, you have to know where your likely buyer is coming from. This is going to be helpful to you. First of all, you've got to price correctly. You've got to market to the right audience. Emphasize what matters to today's buyers in your price range. It's a more sensitive payment market and buyers are more selective. That's why positioning and pricing are the difference between strong activity on a home and it just sitting there for a while. You are definitely competing with more options than sellers had to a year or two ago. So the key point here is the homes that sell best are the ones that are positioned for buyers actually shopping in this area in today's market, not some generic buyer. Migration patterns are a key insight, and they do explain where people are searching. They help explain why some buyers and sellers succeed while others struggle in the same market. Competition and demand still cluster into specific pockets and specific types of listings. So if you're buying or selling in Georgetown, Texas, you want a clear plan for your price range and the specific pockets you're considering, call or text me. I always answer my own calls, my own texts. Or if you prefer, use the link in the description below, schedule a quick call with me. I hope to meet you soon, and remember, it's your choice, so make it a powerful day.